I have something new to the collection again to reveal. This is a machine I just got today. Drove 3 hours to go and get it. And a certain collector who's watching this will know exactly what machine it is. Should we see what it is? And you're watching Florence Ballard A3060 on film. So that's the machine. I got a nice blue towel. That's what I got. That's all you guys need to know. Yeah. No. So, this is the new machine, which is hiding under this cover. It could be anything. It's square. That's what you know. It could be also round. You never know. And there's the Miele anyway. Just thought I'd point that out. So, this machine, again, now, because of all the premiering I've done, I don't really get to sort of reveal to you guys. This kind of came around quite quickly. However, there is one person that has been guessing. Phil, his name is, not Service Slimline, there's another Phil. He's like Washer Boy WMA649530, I think he is on there. Of course, though, as you know, with me, when you're asking me about a machine to the collection, this is a machine for the collection that's permanently staying. It's not temporary. I wouldn't hide temporary machines. In fact, I'm no longer going to do that now. I'm just going to pick up something. I have got a temporary machine that I'm looking at. But I'm not going to say anything yet because in case I don't actually get it, but should be getting it next week. Just show you that. That's now taken apart, taking the motor and pump out of it. Going to sell them and I'm going to probably put that around for scrap tonight, maybe. Yes, so this is the new machine to the collection. I drove an hour and a half to go and get it and an hour and a half back. And that's my phone. So there's no sort of... Yeah, so I've been kind of driving a lot with it. Got an instruction manual for it. It came from a collector that we know. You might not know who it is, you might not know what machine it is if I say, but it came from Chris, the laundry centre. He gave me this machine because he knew it was something I was after. Now, I don't know if anyone knows that I was after one of these, but I have always mentioned something along the lines of this, that I may need this machine in future. So let's see now, obviously we've got the Premiere chat, so I can probably see that people are putting stuff in. So when I say I need a machine, in terms of not the type of appliance I need, but I need this machine at a future date at some point for something. Maybe something that's going to happen in 5 years' time. This machine's use is going to be very important. So there's probably people thinking, what the hell is this? Right. So I'll allow some guesses in there. Of course, I'll just see what people are putting. I have a feeling someone's put Hotpoint WD64 or something. No, Hotpoint WD64 is being saved for the 8,000 subscriber special. Unfortunately, I wanted to have a milestone for this, but I didn't have anything for it. There's a new top loader was going to be 1250 video, but I thought I was nowhere near 1250 and I thought I don't want to leave it that long. But yeah, this is one interesting machine to have. I ran it through a test wash today. So probably thinking, what's Chris given up? No, it's nothing commercial, probably. Could be, actually. Never know. Right, should we get moving the towel? One clue I'm going to give, and I'm going to do this because I like giving little cryptic clues. Think back to chemistry in school, of science. Now, I know exactly what people are putting right now because I've just mentioned it, because I know I did that with the Zanussi video. But in chemistry, you learn something about atoms. For those who are into physics, or not physics, into chemistry and all that stuff, you'll know what I mean when I reveal it. For those who know about, like, say, how electricity works, when you get a static shock of something, what is being transferred from your hand? Not electricity, but it's that matter that's being transferred from your hand to the surface, that's something to do with this. So, that's a bit of a clue there as to what that could be. It is a dial, well, obviously with me, it's anything collection is pretty much going to be dialers in this. So yeah. This is the new machine. I'll let you guys continue putting some guesses, but just think about what I said. This machine's going to be very important at some part. You probably guess the spin speed. So who here would have thought that my new machine would be, or that I would be having, this?
Have mercy!
Ah, what's that, I wonder? Should we have a little look at what this mystery machine is? Yes, guys, you are looking at a square door Hoover. A Hoover Electron 1100 Deluxe model A3472 in Harmony Beige, a very beautiful colour. Actually goes very well with the kitchen. Right, so I don't know if Chris ever put up that he had this. He told me about how he got it. It was a freebie. But he did like a 4-hour drive for it or something. That's, yeah, probably 4-hour round drive for it. So, this is it's very different to what I expected this range to be like. It's a late Electron model from the Electron Series 4, dating to September 1986, so basically older than i530. The Electron range came out in, I think, 1983 they came out, or maybe 1984. But you had several series. Now, before I go on about the history of Hoover and these machines, let me elaborate on what I was saying about this machine. So the clue was physics. Electrons, I was on about. Electrons are what are in the transfer of electricity, static electricity, and you have electrons, protons, and neutrons. I wasn't very good at chemistry, so that's the only thing I could think about that. Now, another thing about this machine, the type of it is Electron 1100 Deluxe. I finally have a Deluxe machine in my collection. Now, someone might say what Chris just said when I saw him. What about your 9530? No, that machine is Electronic 1000 Plus, but I always wanted a Deluxe model, or something that had that on it. So, what you're probably thinking now, but hang on, haven't you got a Hoover A3060? Now, this is where I get to what I was saying. You guys know that the Hoover A3060 is my prized possession, hence the reason that my channel has that in there. So, like I say to people, if someone asks me, what is your favourite washing machine in your collection? I'm like, it's a very silly question to ask me when you know my channel is named after the machine in my collection. The Hoover A3060 is obviously the first 1100 automatic that Hoover made. She is from January 1978, making her the oldest new magic Hoover in preservation. However, as you have known about the journey of that machine since I got her in 2018, you know the machine is kind of on, like, spared life, really. Machine can't handle the kind of use that machines in this house get subjected to, all because I can only have one thing in at a time, and that machine is now restricted to 1 wash per week, and never gets used. I can't film anything more on the A3060 because I've gone through all the programs, and the options that turn the programs into other cycles, like the slow spin button, they don't work on that machine for some reason. I think might have to get that looked at. But anyway, this year the A3060 celebrated her 45th birthday. So in 5 years' time, when that machine turns 50, I'm going to be retiring that machine permanently. Now, I don't know, like, obviously, what people are thinking. It doesn't mean the machine's been scrapped or anything. It's been taken off the machine. It means the machine will just be kept as a display purpose, maybe for the odd spin dry demonstration, but the machine will never see wet use again. There'll be no water through the machine. The machine will probably still be fully working at 50 years old, probably with her matching D6042 Dryer Deluxe. But I want to retire that machine looking good and perfectly working, rather than running the machine into the ground and basically the machine breaking and then me saying, yeah, the machine's retired, but she's broken. So this becomes the stand-in machine for the A3060 when she goes, like, into retirement. Because I always love Hoover 1100s. In fact, despite what people think about me wanting a Hotpoint WD64 and the 9530 being my original machine and the WMA64, etc., Hoover are actually my favourite vintage brand. I've always preferred Hoover to Hotpoint. It's just the fact is, it's harder to find the models of Hoover that I actually want because they're such rare machines. I mean, the ones you find nowadays are the Logics, and I'm not keen on the Logics. In fact, from Hoover I'd love a New Wave, but they are so hard to find now, the washer dryers and the Classicas. So this machine is basically to fill in for the A3060. Being almost 10 years younger, I can use this machine a little bit more. The machine sounds perfectly smooth, a bit of a rattle here and there, but hey, machine's 37 years old, what do you expect? In fact, 37 this month, so that makes it more special. So yeah, this is from the Electron Series 4. Hoover had several ranges. After the A3060, we had the A3110 series, which was known as the smoother range, 1980. Then came the Electron Series 1 with the A3190, which is when you didn't see any more of the Keymatic anymore after that. These were like the top of the range. There's one A3190 in preservation. I believe it's Luke Skeldon that has it, or I can't remember if someone else has one. Might be wrong. Maybe Matchbox Paul's probably got one. But they were basically just the warmed over range of the smoother series, still appeared the same. Electron Series 2 was the A32 models, so like A3260. That's where the Hoover computer control came in with the A3. No, was that? No, computer control was. Yeah, A3268. That was their top of the range model. God, I would absolutely love that model, the computer control. I filmed one of those. Then you had Electron Series 3, which was the original design of this crimped design. I really loved that fascia bit there. That was the A3346, A3348, A3350, and the A3308 computer control 1100 second version. Then came Electron Series 4, where you had the special models. Now, this model is the A3472, and kindly given by Chris, I have the manual for it. We had A3470, which was this colour, but a dark, like, almond cabinet, a bit like the 9530, like a beige cabinet. A3472, this one. A3474 was all white, or as you would find them now, yellow. They also have a more inset kick strip at the bottom, which doesn't come off. But I also love the design of the lid on this. It's got that very nice... so the dial turns like this. There's like a little chevron on them. And also, it's an energy control model, so a bit more energy efficient. For once, I now have a half load I can use, so I don't have to use all the water. Low temp 45 and low temp 60, and I can also speed the wash up. Not that I need to, because it is a very quick wash. And I've got crease guard for rinse hold. You have to press it in and out. And what I like about this, look at this, to open the drawer. It has a tab there, so when that spins, it won't come open. And the door release button. So it has a different seal to the A3060, albeit this actually has the A3060 type drum. Look, so you can hear. That's smooth. That's just how these motors sound because, of course, their age. I have since oiled the motor up with 3-in-1 oil as well, though, and fitted a new drain hose because the old one fortunately had the end cut off it, so it couldn't hook up to the sink. It has a plastic drain hose. I'm not aware if these had the black hoses to them or not. I don't know if Hoover continued that at this point. I think at this point they might have just gone to plastic. Anyway, one day maybe we can source an original black hose for this, like the A3060. The black hose is not suitable for this kitchen anyway. It can't hook onto the spigot without splitting. So yeah, I'm eternally grateful for Chris giving me this. When I went to his, when I filmed all the previous videos, this was in his shed behind the Philips spin drain model, and he asked me, he showed me it. I was like, oh, what Electron is it? I wanted to have a look. I thought it was one that you already had. And he told me he was getting rid of it one day. He might be, so he said if I want, I said, alright, so I'll take you up on that. I said, I do need a machine to stand in for the A3060. The A3060 can't be used here, but when I do get my own place one day, yes, I will have them lined up, and we will one day do a wash race when I have a house where I can put them together. I now have 3 generations of Hoover. I've now got the A3060, New Magic, I've got this as the Electron, and now I've got a Candy-made model, which is the Hoover 6. They did a washer-dryer from this model, this range, but the programming on this, you'll see, is very different to the A3060, despite being pretty much an identical machine interior-wise. Anyway, enough rambling on. Oh yeah, I should state that the later ones, the Logic range, use this style with a bigger drum to them. I believe this has got the roller bearings in them. The taper bearings were outdone after the smoother range, I think, which is what the A3060 originally had, which always kept coming loose. Anyway, I've got a nice load of towels, and I'm also pleased about something else about this machine. What detergent do you think this range recommends? If you know Hoover very well, you know your vintage washing machines. Is it Persil? Nope. It's Ariel. This was when Hoover recommended Ariel and Lenore. The A3060 is Persil. When the Electron Series 1 came out, Hoover switched to Ariel. So yes, going to be washing a load of towels. Nice vintage boil wash, and this one, unlike the A3060, does actually hit temperature. Not dissing the A3060, of course, but the fact is that machine is getting on. In fact, I don't even use the machine to get clean clothes. I just use it for the fun of it. I've had to put pads on the back wheels because unfortunately this suffers the same fate of flat spot wheels. So one day I will do the wheels on this plus the A3060. Chris has really looked after this machine. Getting it out of my car, there was pretty much no rust, just a bit to sand off here and there, but apart from that, the machine was sound. Although, Chris, you did give me a load of dead daddy long legs in there. There were loads of him inside there, so I just got rid of that before Mum found that out. But anyway, I'm interested to see how this machine performs and to do a proper wash, so let's get loading up. I'd use the halogen one for this. This is a nice vintage warm glow. So, nice square door, traditional square door Hoover. Right, what have we got here? So I haven't thought of a name for this machine yet. I need to see how she performs. That goes in there. So we can load this a bit more than I would put on the A3060, but not really by much. She's going to still be treated with respect, but not... Obviously, I don't need to restrict the machine like I do with the A3060 with it. So for this, maybe 2 washes a week. However, a boil wash would require, for me, a bit more of a rest. There you go, just full with enough space at the top. Let me just shake this towel out here. What was this towel used for? Oh, yeah, no, I remember. We sold the Indesit dryer today as well. That's it. So, of course, releases the drawer. You can pull it by hand, but it's more of a tradition to do that. Unfortunately, because I'm using a halogen bulb, it's going to be a bit harder to film what I need. Anyway, so let's get a scoop of Ariel out. We're using White's heavy soil, so it will require the pre-wash compartment to be filled. What are we doing here? So we need about 95 millilitres plus about, we said about 120 ml, wasn't it? Normally, for the dosage of. Bit much in there. Unfortunately, Ariel does get very sudsy. So we want some in the pre-wash. Yep. And the rest in the main wash. Now, I don't know whether this will do the same thing the A3060 does and siphons the conditioner in. So I might just leave that out for the second, and then if I see that it's not filling through on the rinse, because no, the A3060 blasts it into this compartment. If it doesn't do it on this, then I can put that in before the final rinse. Oh, what a nice shot. So in our programs, we have more programs than the A3060, as well as 2 separate spins, at Spin Dry 1100 and Spin Dry 500. So we're going for program B, White's 95. So it's got one, it's got the number on it, and also what else it would be, the ITCL code and the letters as well. So I'm going to go for program B, White's heavy soil, so that'll be an auto pre-wash in that. It'll be a bit hard to sort of get this. So the program is visible here, so I don't have to push it in like the A3060, I just have to turn it like that. Right the way around. That's the all manual pre-wash. And that should be it there. I don't want any options, quick wash or anything, I want that to just go ahead as planned. So I will start that. Here we go. It fills with hot water quite quickly as well. Oh no, this won't be hot water. This will be filling through cold water. Let me see if I was to open the drawer. Just trying to check. And they're also small drums though. It's only 4 kilogram, these drums. Oh. But it does know when to stop as well, which is good. There you go. Nice sounding motor. All pre-washers will fill up cold. Does tend to do a lot of delicate tumbles as well, but it doesn't do what the A3060 does and do all the delicate tumbles as well as the common tumbles does. There it goes. Nice tumble action. See, the A3060's pre-wash is like broken because the machine fills up all the way, and also only does it for about 2 minutes before skipping on. Oh, I don't know what this does. This might be the same. Alright, good news is the conditioner compartment's dry, so we can put what's that now? That's actually heating now. Oh, we're heating. There we go. So pour some conditioner in, make sure it's below the fill line. Nice. That's a Lenore Pink Blossom. Let's just capture some of the heating tumbles there. What's the slogan for Hoover here? Hoover Who Better? But this actually reaches temperature and does a long time. And we don't have that. It has a very different sounding timer. It doesn't do that groaning sound. I'm well pleased with this machine though. It's nice to have this now. But I'm down to like one space now. But listen to the timer. I'll do it in a second. It always makes you think the machine's going to advance. That pre-wash is heated to, I believe, 30 degrees. So yeah, we've got an actual pre-wash that works. Okay, distribution drain. The pump on this is really nice. as a nice, decent length pre-wash. Nice long distribution there. That's filling the main wash. Yeah, just filled with hot water. And now we're officially beginning. So we do slower tumbles at first. Oh, short tumbles, not slower, because they are saying speed. So we are heating to 95 degrees Celsius. Heat is roaring away, so 2.5 kilowatt. Right, we've finished heating and I have to show you something. That is bang on 95 degrees Celsius. So there you go, actually hits it. Let's get that with a flash. Yep, there you go. Actually hits 95. Smell of that is amazing. Don't know if you want to watch this, but shout out to Appliance Guy. I'm currently watching his Bosch live stream of his WAX32GH4GB and his dryer, which is the matching WTX 88EH 9GB. Long model numbers, but yeah, got a shout out in the Hoover Electron video. Jack, I think his name is. And now we are on the dilution rinse. That was probably the best vintage main wash I've seen. Utilised every second of that time, went slightly above the temperature, which is good. And into a nice cool down. Because not every machine does a cool down after a oil wash. It's probably not always necessary because cotton can handle it, but like, it's just nice. A bit more satisfying. Sometimes we do get a bit of a leak from the door seal, I think, because I haven't been using ages, but a nice deep level. Let me check that it didn't take any of that conditioner. Nice. We don't have that problem with this one. So it's just something with the A3060. That's the sound of the drain. Pump into the first distribution drain now. Well, second because we've done a pre-wash. It sounded like it wanted to go faster there for a second. As you say, as we do know, Hoovers do distribute quite slow. But I hope we don't get any problems with this. I'm spinning. Still not thought of a name for this machine yet, but I will think of one by the end of the cycle probably. So the pump's not as loud as the A3060 on this one. You don't get that rum, 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 rum. The time like squeals before it turns on, that's how I know it's going to advance. So I'll record the fill for the rinse. You'll notice this doesn't do something the A3060 does. The A3060 tumbles while filling for the first rinse. Also, this does 4 rinses as opposed to 3. And you'll see why this does 4 rinses as opposed to 3. If anyone's familiar with the Electron programming, they'll know why. And they'll know what's different about it. The rinses are also much shorter. They're about 3 minutes long from fill to the end. So it's not fill and then 3 minutes, it's fill included. You probably only get about a minute of tumbling with the full level. So we tumble actually here now, we do. But we don't tumble instantly like the A3060 does. Also, you might have noticed this doesn't go through the cotton and then the delicate tumbles like what the A3060 does. This just straight up does either cotton or delicate tumbles. The only grouch I do have with the A3060, I love that machine with all my heart, but I do think the programming should be that if you selected cotton setting, it should skip all the delicate tumbles, apart from when it has to do the cool down, which has to do the, yeah, there we are. So watch this. That's your level, Hoover levels. So we're going to do short tumbles, but however, they're actually it's fast tumbles, just short it is. But when you select the wall cycle on the A3060, the machine does the slow tumbles and skips all the cotton bits. Right. The draining. Now you might be wondering, why have I not angled my camera to the side like I do for a spin? This is because the electrons don't do a spin after every rinse like the A3060 did. This only spins after the second rinse, and all the others does distribution drains. I completely forgot about the fact that I'd read that the electrons only do that, until I got machine testing. It's like, oh, why haven't we done a spin? But yeah, that's it. Now, unfortunately, we're using the halogen one here, so it's a bit harder to see in. But yeah, very quick at draining though. As you know, Hoovers pump out with great velocity, they do. So this is the reason why this machine does 4 rinses. Let's try. That's actually nicely balanced. And it has distributed a bit quicker. Suddenly do the spin now. They are. Second rinse. Lots of fun now. This one thing we'll make sure though is that when the machine does do the spin, you probably won't self-lock as much. Also, the final spin differs slightly from the A3060. You'll see how. So if any vintage guys are on here that know about Hoover electrons, you'll probably know why. Again, how it differs. It doesn't do something that the A3060 and the Smoother Range and the Electron Series 1 do. Let's say it's a shorter final spin. And there we go. I mean, there's not many subs in that, to be honest. Yes, Ariel surprised me because we saw what it did with the Zanussi, but that's because that spun after the wash. Deluxe machine in the collection now. It would have otherwise probably been a 99 series, maybe if I got on the 9935, which was washer dryer 1200 Deluxe, but never know. I like the way the pump comes on. This now should be the first intermediate spin. Well, not saying first, intermediate spin. There is no other intermediate spin than this. It means that it flies through these cycles though. Come on, don't misbehave. Nice and smooth. My favourite bit of watching any machine I get. Seeing that first loaded spin, as I like to say. That's better. Are we going to self-lock? Let's wait here. It doesn't faff distributing for long either. First loaded spin. It climbs and it comes back down. I'm actually surprised at how stable that is. It's not that unbalanced, but that's really stable. That sounds so good. Notice the motor sounds slightly deeper than the A3060. I'm actually amazed that that's not shaking much. That's 500 RPM. And you'll hear some screeching from the motor bearings probably. Interesting what the final spin ends up like that. Look, there's literally like life is great at the moment. Yeah, I enjoy it. Spin fill. Third rinse. Alright, filling for the third rinse and showing that the machine tumbles as well. It's good because it acts like an ungluing phase and it allows absorbency better. Allows it to soak better. So although the rinses are short, they can be short because there's already agitation during the filling. I'm going to film this and just show you it filling up as well. And how clear that water's becoming. I was surprised there was no start-stop. Then again though, it isn't a massive tower wash I've done there. I made sure it wasn't too big. If there was another bath sheet in there, or two maybe, yeah. Always with vintage machines, I like it to be full by loading, but there's enough space for stuff to tumble and then achieve good wash action like this. Love the way the seal creases on these. Oh, bit of air bubbles. How quickly that empties. I know the A3060 is 7 litres per minute. It is. Yeah, 7 litres per minute. we don't want that spinning like that. I will be a little bit more lenient on balance loads with this machine because it can handle it probably better than the A3060, but yeah, sort stuff out though. Well, I think we loaded that just fine. But I've had so many towels being washed recently, yeah. When I get the new tempering machine, I'll just be something else to put on as the first load. Hopefully I get it. So I'm not revealing what it is yet until I know I'm getting it, then I can say in a video, oh, well, the title of the video picking it up. Yeah, this is not a spin, by the way, as I was about to say. It's a distillery drain. I've not got the final rinse yet. I'm just checking that hasn't taken it in. Good, I'm glad to know this doesn't have that same problem. I don't know what it is with the A3060. Someone else said the same thing about their A3060. It's probably something to do with the way the water jets into the drawer. I think one shoots over into the side. Oh, the colour of this machine, by the way, is it's not Harmony Beige, it's Mink. Mum's coming. Yeah, it's Mink. The fascia is Mink. Harmony Beige was the A3470, was the cabinet. So, and that's the final rinse. Right, that's the Lenore Pink Blossom gone in. What's that? Oh, something just fell on the floor. Go. And this has proper drain holes in the door seal. Right, final spin at 1100 RPM. Now let's see if you know, or can see, what this does differently to the A3060. Huh? What have I enabled? Enable crease guard or something? Huh? Does crease guard work on this? Oh. I just went to drain that did. Here we go. Right. Now that's on the final spin. So, on this machine, is it stuck? Ah, no, we are. Remember the time I got this stuck. On this machine, program J is the final spin, whereas program H on the A3060, but that's because the program on that one is just A to H. Oh, not going to be on balance. Nah, I'll smooth it out. That yellow towel's messing about. It's because I say Hoover don't distribute fast enough. I'm trying to get so you guys can see that bit at the back of the drum. No, don't all start falling about. No, don't cover the back of the drum. That's going to go to spin really unbalanced on that. Please balance yourself. Click. That's unbalanced. She's unbalanced, but oh, water lock. Right. What have you noticed the machine hasn't done? Hasn't done that 500 RPM burst and stopped to redistribute and do the anti-tangle. This machine, the Electrons series, I think series 2 and upwards, didn't do it. So they go straight into the 500 burst, which is good. Saves messing about, but the only thing is that it means that if the machine's water locking, yeah. So see how well that handles that. It's shaking a little bit, but see what happens. The machine had a flat wheel from the back, where the back wheel's just flat, so I had to put furniture pads under it, because otherwise the machine was leaning back so much. Right, so we do 2 minutes at each speed. The same spin pattern that all Hoover 1100 RPMs do, but just without that additional burst. I get a bit of suspension sounds as well. The motor on this sounds so good. Well, the A3060's original one was a whinier motor, but now she has a computer control 1100 motor, so it sounds small deeper, but this sounds so retro stuff. Oh, here we go. something else it doesn't do that the A3060 does. When this thing finishes spinning, that's it, program finished. A3060 does that long tumbling at the end. So yeah, it's kind of a more refined version of the A3060, but perfect for a stand-in. I mean, I prefer the programming on this. It's just more of a get on with it, but also makes up for it by hitting the temperature. Maybe the A3060 needs a new heating element side, but you know what? I don't use that machine for performance. I use that machine just because I absolutely love that machine. And we're done. I think everything's stuck to the side. You can't open the door if it's not on a stop mark. So I think, yeah. Oh yeah, that's probably why. Something to do with that. I know these have delay locks. But you've got to nudge the timer over slightly, I think. Yeah. She doesn't want to give me the phones back. I had this problem earlier, hang on. There we go. Takes a bit of getting used to. And let's open the drawer. Right. Wow. Really dry for an 1100 RPM spin. But Hoover were always good at that. Slightly more creased because we don't do the anti-tangle in between, but hey, you know, is what it is. Oh yeah, I threw that in as an extra towel at the end. So I knew there was more in there. I know I put a bit more in there. But yeah, they would do good just going straight in the dryer now. And what colours have we caught? Did we catch much? Oh yeah, we have. We've got a dark bluey grey. I don't know what towels that would have been. Probably the dark bar sheet. Right guys, so that's the newest machine to the collection, and I will tell you I have thought of a name for her. She's going to be called Sylvie. Now, you might be thinking, didn't I already call the machine Sylvie? No, that was a machine that I borrowed in Australia, the WD640. This machine of mine is going to be called Sylvie. I might get slapped for saying why, but I don't think the person will view this. I should be safe. The reason I've called her Sylvie, because she is a stand-in machine for the real thing that I love, the A3060. In my high school days, there was a girl I liked, who I obviously knew I had no chance with, you know, most high school students. So, however, I took a liking to another girl called Sylvie. She was my stand-in for the real person that I liked, and I grew to like her because she was a lot nicer. So you could say this one is a lot more refined than the A3060, a bit more better behaved as well, or you know, did get a bit shaky, but hey, aren't Hoover all like that? But also, Sylvie has a silver lining, so silver lining around the door. Yeah. Also, you could say shaky Sylvie as well, because the machine shakes a lot. But yeah, so we call her Sylvie. She's now called that. Yeah. I've now got a machine personally. Now, it's nice to actually have collection machines. I know the top loader, who we called Sadie, she's not going to be used here, because we can't with the way that the machine spurts water out and all when using her, but saving up for when I move or whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys have liked this, and again, just a huge thank you to Chris. Went down there today to pick it up from his and then drove back. Stopped off at the Fleet service station on the way back near Basingstoke, and this person just looked behind, and there was police there as well who were getting a break, and I think they were just looking in the back thinking, huh? More or less the fact looking, thinking, that looks really old. And then when I pulled it out here, some guys drove past in the van and said, hey, are you scrapping that machine? Because they're looking for scrap metal. Shame I didn't tell about the hot point. I didn't have that unplumbed at the time. But I said, no, I'm keeping this machine. They thought, oh, we saw it was an old machine. I thought, yeah, well, old machine, but I'm keeping it. But yeah, nice. The seal actually goes nicely with the colour of the machine. But that's a Logic seal on there. So yeah, Hoover A3472 Electron 1100 Deluxe. named Sylvie from September 1986, now a part of my collection thanks to Chris. Maybe I should get him an Asco in return, because I know he absolutely loves Asco commercial washers. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to keep it supreme and go with the flow.